Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harsh Worded Tenderhearted Episode 7. We are your hosts. I'm Kaira. And I'm Tash. And today we will be talking about grief and then the smallest hills that we would die on.
Anthills, baby. What are your brush-ins with grief?
I feel like grief is a very heavy topic for me, and it's a very familiar feeling. I think I've said that before in one of our previous episodes, but it's something that I do often for like the smallest things. Like I grieve everything. I don't know why.
You have big feelings.
I have big feelings and a tiny, tiny heart.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, grief very applicable to everyday situations.
I was gonna say, true. I let myself feel all of the feelings all at the very, very, very start. I'm not one of those people that like shut it out or pretend that it didn't happen or anything like that. Like I'm like, this thing happened, immediately I'm grieving and I'm going through all of these stages of like anger and sadness and preparing for change and all of these things kind of all at once.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to work on.
Okay, true.
Yeah, because literally me, I have any inclination of like any feeling, and I'm like, ooh, I'm pushing it down. I'm ignoring it.
See, I'm the complete opposite, which I feel like both are like there has to be balance.
Yeah,
which I'm trying to figure out is a balance.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to feel more. It's like, it's okay to feel things when you feel them. Like, you don't have to, like, suppress everything all the time. Because, like, that's not healthy.
And that's something I think, like, I don't want to say runs in the family, but, like, it's just everybody in our family does it. Yeah. And I have a lot of, like, mental health issues that contribute to feeling everything so intensely and deeply all the time. And I remember my mom actually one time said something along the lines of, like, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but it was like, you don't have to feel something every single day. And I thought it was sad.
That you don't feel something every single day?
No, that she thought that she just lives life like that. I don't have to feel something today. Like, you know how a lot of people are very good, just like in a very specific job where they're doing the same thing every single day, and it's just like,
it's very monotonous.
Yeah. Like a lot of people are okay with that, and I am like so far gone from that. Like I cannot do it. I will not do it, and it's hard for me to kind of get into that headspace of just like, do this, do that. Like I'm always feeling something, you know? But I think it's helps me build an understanding of other people's feelings as well. Even if they're not saying it, like being so over analytical with myself of like, oh, I did this because I was feeling that or whatever. You kind of like pick up on it in other people as well. And I think that the way I deal with grief is a little bit different depending on what I'm grieving. Like death, for some reason, is a little bit easier to me to deal with than grieving like a heartbreak or the loss of a friend or like something like that. And again, I don't know if it's my anxiety, but my brain always tells me that like we lost our grandpa. I think we said that too in the first episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it was like a year and a half.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah. And I think that was the closest hitting loss I felt. Like the closest to home, the closest to my heart. But it's more of like he's in a better place. He was very, very sick, you know? And
there's a lot of health issues there.
Yeah. And it's so weird. I remember when he passed, we were talking about it, and it's so weird that even us two, we're about 5 years apart, have such different memories of him. I don't remember when he ended up being paralyzed for the first time.
Yeah, so our grandfather had a stroke, which left him paralyzed on the right side, right?
Yeah.
And
of his whole body.
It happened when I was pretty young.
Yeah.
But, like, I have very few memories of him not being paralyzed. All that I can really remember is, like, he's always just been like that.
And I have, like, a lot of memories from before that, kind of like when we first came to Canada, because she was born here. I have a lot of memories of him being very, very active, number one.
Yeah, my mom tells me that all the time.
Yeah, would, like, go on runs every day and stuff like that. He was just always wanting to do something. We were never driving. We were always walking. You know, I didn't want to walk, so he'd put me in that little carriage thing, and we would go to the store. But they were all a lot different. I already felt like I was grieving a lost version of him when he got... Oh my God, I'm going to cry. When he got sick. So when I grieved that death, I was more so grieving before he got sick because those were my best memories of him. So I was like re-grieving two people all over again. Now when I think about it, I always tell myself that he's in a better place. I don't really know what I believe in after death, but I do know that like if what he believed in is true, he can walk again and he can run again and like stuff like that. So I kind of connect it more to like the first version of him that I knew being happy again. So like I feel like that's a little bit easier for me to deal with than my brain telling me every single day that there is somebody out there, there are multiple people out here on this earth living and walking around living their daily lives, once knowing every single crevice of me and continuously choosing that they'd rather not speak to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why my brain tells me that. Again, I don't know if it's like my anxiety, but like it just like, how do you say the word, catastrophizes?
Catastrophizing.
It catastrophizes everything to the extreme. Do you know what I've thought of? Do you know what I was thinking about this earlier actually when I was making my notes? I don't even know how much of this you would remember, but you had a friend when you were really, really young that passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so did that affect you? Because I remember thinking about it at that time because I was 9. I have like memory of it happening. I knew it was happening. I knew what was happening when it was happening. So I had always wondered, like, would that have affected her later on in life at all?
I'm gonna be honest,
no?
I don't remember as
That's
much.
what I thought.
I don't remember. I have like bits and pieces, but I don't remember. I remember grieving her. It's one of those things where it's like I have missed her and have grieved her longer than I ever knew her, and longer.
Whoa. That's crazy. How old were you again?
I was really young.
I think you were like 4.
Yeah, I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah. And I remember like at that time your mom was even questioning, like they were kind of questioning bringing you or not,
really?
Like to the funeral and the viewing. It's like they were like, is it too much? Like, is that like weird for her to see her like that? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like
maybe it was so traumatizing I don't remember. I don't know.
That's true. So traumatizing I already forgot. Like,
and the second brush with grief was when my childhood cat died. That hit me so hard. I don't know why. I was literally bedridden for like 2 weeks. It was such a sudden death, like happened within 24 hours.
What even happened?
She got sick. She got like
cancer or something?
No, it was an infection.
Oh,
like a kidney infection or something, and it happened so quickly. But I think I sort of dwelled in like the denial stage of grief.
True.
It doesn't take me long to get to acceptance though.
Do you feel fully accepted of it?
Oh yeah.
Think that you have?
I think it's because I already know like we're all gonna die. Not to be like.
That's true. How was your grieving process with Papa?
That's kind of tough. I was really lucky though because like I got to talk to him before he went into coma because how it like he went to a coma before he passed. The last thing he told to me was to take care of myself, and like the way he said it though, like he knew.
Right.
Like I think he definitely knew.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, for a while I was like when he said that I was like no, do not say that.
Right.
Like in denial. Like I knew, like I deep down I knew.
Right.
But it's like I don't really want to accept it because it's like you're my grandpa, like, you know.
Right. I have a hard time thinking a lot that he'll never meet my kids, specifically because he would always say like when you have kids, like I wasn't going to school, I wasn't doing a lot to talk about, you know, like so there was not really a lot to talk about other than like when you have kids. So like that was my biggest, I think that I don't know if that's like part of the reason I was so set on having kids by a certain age, because like I said, we prepared for his death for a very long time, like years. So like that was one of the goals. I had also considered when and if one day I got married, I had considered for him to walk me down the aisle. So those, like, I know that it'll come back up, and like when I think about those things, it comes back up. But like he would always tell me like through everything struggle builds character. So I've always kind of like lived by that, and I think that helped me feel a lot of my feelings a lot easier than before, because it was like becoming familiar with struggle and becoming okay with it. And speaking of him, our title is actually, I know, right? I realized today that we had never brought that up. But the title of our podcast is Harsh-Worded, Tender-Hearted. And when our grandfather first, I don't remember when it was. It was like, I don't remember if he started working on it before he got sick or if it was after he first got sick.
I can't remember.
But he wrote a couple books, and they're kind of like autobiography, like self-help type books. It talks about a lot of the struggles that he's faced and how he dealt with them. I remember reading it, and I remember I was shocked by the things that he had struggled with and never spoke about. It kind of shaped the way I dealt with struggle in a way. Because I remember reading it and kind of like that guy was my idol though, growing up, you know? Like, obviously you always want to be like your idol, and thank God that he was so resilient, you know? So like he really shaped the way that I deal with the struggle and grief. But his book was called Harsh-Worded, Tender-Hearted. Can't even remember how the thought came to me. I think I was driving one day and I was like, oh my God, we should name it after Papa's book. What's his book called? One of our cousins went home and she was like, oh my god, it's called Harsh-Worded, Tender-Hearted. And we were all like, oh my god, because so true.
It's a very
So
accurate
true.
description of our family.
And it's so funny that he called his book that, because I think he's the least harsh-worded out of everybody. Like, everybody that he bred is 10 times more harsh-worded than he
Bred.
is. You know? Yeah, literally. Like, all of, like, our aunts and uncles' parents, like, that generation is the most harsh-worded.
Yeah.
So, like, he was a little bit more tender-hearted, for sure. So,
that's the story behind our name. But yeah, him missing out on things. When I graduated, that was probably one of like the hardest days of my life. Me graduating, me finishing school, like that was like the one thing that like we talked about, because he was so proud that like I was finishing, because I'm like
that somebody did it.
yeah, I'm the first
one.
one
Yeah.
to finish university and get a degree, and he's an engineer.
Yeah.
So that was something we kind of bonded on.
It's so funny because everybody talks about being the black sheep in our family. Like, we don't have, like, we're all black sheep and then we have little golden sheep. Because there's way more black sheep than there is white sheep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I kind of get that.
Especially because Kai's not the oldest. She's the fourth oldest. Do you know what I'm saying? In our generation. So it's not like there wasn't 3 other opportunities. Like, so she's a golden sheep.
No, but I remember like just crying. Like the thought of him not being at my graduation and not seeing her, because like we had a whole plan that we were gonna like take him for the day to Toronto, and he would like go and it'd be great. And then if that couldn't be possible, then there's a live stream, so he would see it either way. And just the fact that like I was reaching this milestone that we looked forward to, and he wasn't there to see it, oh my god, took me out. I woke up that day and I was like, okay, don't cry. And then you can kind of see it on my face when I was walking across the stage. Like I was standing there waiting for my name to be called, and I was like, oh my god, about to cry.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't reached any milestones. So that time for me will come for sure. I don't doubt it. Like, I don't doubt for a fact that I'm gonna have to like refeel all of these feelings when I reach the milestones that we talked about. Like, I don't doubt it 1 second, but haven't done much since. So I don't often feel a lot of anger and grief for some reason.
Yeah, me neither. Depending on what I'm grieving.
True.
Yeah.
True. I remember even with Lady Cop, the anger did not come until like months and months and months and months and months later. And there was so much to be angry about. But like anger just took forever to come. I more just like wallow in the sadness of it and like the change.
The adjusting is so hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm such a creature of habit too.
Yeah, exactly. And like my walls go right back up. It takes me a while to bounce back. Like
Me too.
I still haven't bounced back from that last one, and it's been fucking 6 months.
Has it really?
I think like
you're like, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, 6 months. About 6 months. And like I still I'd say I'm bounced back, but I'm not ready still to let somebody else in.
Yeah, understandable though.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why like a lot of the people that I've been hurt by happen by accident. So like it kind of just like, I don't know, I hate it when people are like, oh my god, like I want to meet people like out in the wild or like not organically, you know what I'm saying? But like it's weird, but I always date my coworkers, like I say, so it's always happens by accident. Like it just creeps up on you every single time, and it is very organic, but like not a thing, you know, like not a thing that should be happening. So sometimes when it'll like sneak back up on me, I'm okay and I let it happen. But by choice, I'm not going out searching. I will not go look for somebody else to break my heart. Oh. Absolutely not. It takes me way too long to be able to let people back in again.
Well, that would make sense though, because like your track record, like those people are kind of like, they kind of suck. Like, not gonna lie.
I know.
Like, I mean this.
I know. And you know what's
in
really
the best,
funny?
in, like with the greatest intentions, but they sucked.
The best part about it.
Sorry,
about
car
that,
guy. Sorry, lady cop. Like, I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm dead. See, I'm at a place where like I can talk about Lady Cop like that all I want, but when I talk about Car Guy like that, I feel so sad after. Like I go inside and I'm like, oh my god, like I feel so guilty. But what was I gonna say? The best part about that whole statement, because it's so true, is that those are the people that I choose to come forward with. There's a whole roster, and I always talk about like the whole sneaky link thing, like
roster
that
to
roster.
The altar.
Nobody knows. And I don't tell anybody about them like at all. Like they'll have like I'll say their names or like certain like things that have happened, but like there's never like, oh, I went out with this person last night. Like they are worse. They are 10 times worse than my track record. I'm embarrassed to say their name. I'm embarrassed to like, and that's the thing. I don't want to be around you. If you want to hang out for a night, cool, but I don't actually want to be around you.
Interesting.
And that's how I keep it separated. But that's the best part is that that's the best of what I have. These ones, the track record that she's talking about is actually the best of what
Oh God.
I know.
And like grieving friendships. You know, we talked about it in the last episode. I talked about it. Even when I lose people and they're still like walking around and knowing every part of me, it's like once you're dead to me, it's like you're dead to me.
Yeah, she's better at that than me.
I'm
She's
sorry.
better at that than me.
Like I have no feel, and it's not even like, oh my God, like I hate this person. Like no, it's like literally no feelings whatsoever. I don't hate you, don't love you, don't dislike you, don't like you. Like it's just indifference.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like when I say like if I once loved you, I'll always love you. Like I mean that shit.
Oh,
like,
no, like
to the core. Like I don't know what it is, but I can't. And I'm a sucker for like I don't know what it is. I think it's specific people that I've met throughout my life that have kind of altered my brain chemistry. I think some of it has to do with therapy, whatever. But I am always very focused on the good things in things that have passed. I can't do it in the moment. I don't know how to do it in the moment yet. I'm working on that one. But in things that have passed, when I think about, like when I get sad about it, it's because I'm thinking about like a happy memory. I'm never ever like sitting there thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Because again, like that goes, like when I think things like that, that makes me angry and I don't, for some reason it just doesn't come up like it when I'm just sitting there thinking about it. But what does come up a lot is like all of the good things and all of the good things that they made me feel, and that's how I think it turns into sadness, is because I don't have that anymore. I don't like I'm also very deep, like in friendships, in relationships, things that I look for in people. So like when you lose those really deep things, it's like sends me around the fucking ringer all over again. So there's always that like lingering feeling of goodness all the time. So like if I see their face in public, if I see their face online, like it's always like remember when.
Oh no, I'm like that too. Like the door will always be open for anybody who's ever come in and out of my life, but don't expect me to be there holding the door open for you.
I'm an open door holder.
You know?
That's something that I've actually pretty recently, within the past like year, I'd say, have been really working on. And like I've talked about it with people, I keep saying like I need to learn how to close doors. What was that thing that was going around, like you don't have to, your door can stay open but you don't have to stand there hold it. I will stand there and hold that door forever and ever and ever, and then it's like all of a sudden I'm holding open 10 doors that I'm damaged, you know. So like I'm trying to work on just closing the door. Because it's true, you don't have to stand there and open it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it'll be unlocked.
But I am like a chronic door holder. And I think that's why like death is easier for me, because there's no choice.
That's kind of true though. Like there's no going back.
Yeah.
Once they're dead.
Right.
But then
whether you leave it locked or unlocked, there's literally no possibility of them walking through it again.
Yeah.
You know?
Doors bolted shut.
Maybe that's why it's easier. But, you know, because you know how you just have like falling outs where it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Cool. Doors open. But if I needed to like find myself again after you, like I have to learn how to close those doors.
No, I think it's kind of difficult though, like if they're just walking around, like to close the door, because there's still there's still bits and pieces of the version that you love in them, even though if they're not the same person that you're closing the door on.
Yeah, I heard
which
somebody
is so
say,
hard.
you'll never, I don't know where it's from, you'll never meet the same person twice, even in the same person.
Yeah.
And like, true. So I think that almost makes it a little bit easier for me, because it's kind of like, even if in all of these instances that I'm talking about, and me and any of these people were to ever reconnect, it will never be the same. I will never, ever, ever get that back. You know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, why even
grieving.
Try? Like, why would we even try again? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is the
But
point?
what if
It's
you
never
try
gonna
again
be
and
the
then this
same.
person is like, it's better than it was last time?
But what if it's not?
But what if it is?
What if it's not? And it just like, that's it for me.
Then you get hurt and that's life and you learn from it.
Oh my
And then
God.
you gotta go find yourself
like,
again.
She Used to Be Mine is the theme song of my life. Okay. So moving on to the smallest hills we would die on. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. My first anthill is that, okay, so I actually read this earlier. I saw this earlier online and I was like, no, true. But when you're making coffee and you're putting sugar in your coffee, 2 different spoons. And I think this goes along with when I was thinking about it, peanut butter and jam, 2 different knives.
Oh, yeah. That's 2 different things.
Okay, fair.
Well, that's different because they're both
coffee
wet.
and sugar are 2 different things.
No, but they're both different. Like, one of them's solid, one of them's liquid. Whereas, like, it's peanut butter and jelly. It's like both of them are liquid. So it's weird. It's different. You can mix them up.
I think
sugar
it's the
is
same.
dry. So then even if you're putting it in, like the sugar will crystallize with like the wet part, and then
Yeah, but what if you get a drop of coffee in the sugar by accident? Like that.
then it'll become hard, and you pick it up with your spoon.
Oh, I can't. Two different spoons. Two different knives, two different spoons. I also don't like my food touching, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe.
But 2 spoons, 2 knives, no food touching. Those little separator plates and containers are my favorite things ever.
Like the ones they have for toddlers.
Yeah, literally. That's what I was thinking. I was like, the silicone ones?
Mine is that water is not wet. Water makes things wet,
Yeah.
but water is not wet.
Right.
The
That's
definition
true.
of wet is to be dampened by water.
So
So
water
to
is
be submerged
just-
in water.
Water's just like...
Water makes things wet. Wet is a state of being.
But like
But
as an
then-
adjective, I don't think water is wet.
Oh, that's
But
true. I
do you know
didn't
what
think
I'm
about that. I
saying?
didn't think about
Like-
the different states of a word.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I think wet and water are
Interesting.
like too much of the same.
You
in
know what?
my
We'll get back
head.
to this after I've considered all
Okay,
factors.
I'm dead. But like as an adjective, no, I don't think water is wet. You know?
Okay.
I don't know. That one confused me.
We'll circle back.
All public bathrooms that have stalls in them, like when you have to share the room with other people,
Yeah.
should be playing music.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite thing when I'm at the club and you can hear the music
Yeah.
in and then you're
Yeah,
like
like
dancing.
Starbucks.
Oh yeah.
Starbucks
Or-
in there.
Oh my god, okay, or like restaurants. There's this one restaurant in our city and the music they play in there is so loud.
Love that. Like you know when you walk into like a silent bathroom?
Yeah.
No. No, especially
It
if
gives me
there's-
kind of like action movie vibes where like I'm about to be attacked by a secret spy.
Oh my god. Well, the worst thing ever I'm thinking is when someone's fucking doing too much business in the next stall.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's more practical.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I did not have to hear that because now
Oh my God.
I'm like laughing. You know when you're laughing,
Oh,
but it's just
yeah.
breath.
Oh, it's like in high school when people would used to like turn on
Turn
the
on the sink.
yeah, turn on the sink or like
Or
the hand dryers
Yeah. That's.
and then go pee.
I was never that person, but
Yeah, neither was I. It's like it's just a natural human bodily thing. Like
that's
everybody
true.
pees.
Maybe if I
everybody
was like taking a
everybody
shit
poops.
in the school bathroom, maybe I would turn on the hand
See,
dryer.
I
or
couldn't do
something.
that because my poop would outlast the hand dryer timer.
I'm a very quick pooper, so I'm
It
in and
depends what
I'm
I
out.
That's what I ate.
I'm dead.
Friends is not as great as the shows everyone says it is.
Huh.
Because like I've tried to
Interesting.
get into it, I can't get into it. I don't know why. Maybe I'll go home tonight and try and watch it again, and I'll love it. Who knows? But my past experiences have not really liked it that much. I
When did the show like come out?
like 2005
first?
maybe.
Yeah, so when that show came out, I was 9 and my mom was 25. And my mom loved that show. And all I wanted was my mom's love.
Okay.
So it was always on the TV. She was always watching it. It was just like one of those things. And like my mom spends a lot of time working and like just like trying to be busy and doing a lot of things. So like when she was watching TV, you know, goddamn well I was watching Friends with her. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, goddamn well I was making myself sit there. So like it kind of has, it's kind of like nostalgic to me. So
I
like
see.
there's a special place in my heart for it. Like my mom loved that show and would like watch it as it was going. Kind of like that same thing with that 70s show. When that 70s show was on the TV, I was sitting there pretending like I knew what was going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the tea that's come out about that? How
I saw that briefly and I
Yeah.
was like,
not
Huh.
tea? It's literally like actual
I don't even really
legal
know what
proceedings.
happened.
I don't know why I'm saying tea.
I don't even know what happened other than the fact that he might have killed somebody.
Oh, so Danny Masterson.
Yeah.
I don't know who he played, but he like raped a couple of girls 20 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, and Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis both wrote character letters to the judge saying like Danny's an amazing guy, like this and this. So everybody was like, "Bro, what are you doing?" And then they brought up Ashton Kutcher's ex-girlfriend who was like murdered,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of shady there. And then one
Right.
of the girls that was like a victim was like, no, I heard the phone call between you and Danny and your manager or whatever about that night. Like I heard the plan, this and this. So people are like, oh my god, did Ashton Kutcher like kill his ex-girlfriend? Allegedly.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Literally me, but that's crazy. I didn't know like the full details about it, but that's crazy.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of pop culture for you.
True. I think this is more of like a thing for me because I've worked in and shop at dispensaries, and some dispensaries like do this for all of their things, some don't. But I know that no other store is gonna do it. But all price tags should include tax.
Oh yeah.
I
I
just
love when
think
that
it's-
happens.
I know.
It
I
makes
know.
things so easy.
I know, right? I just like, what's the point? Like,
I
and I
mean-
get it from like another standpoint. Like, I worked in a grocery store and we had to do like sales and stuff, and the way we did our pricing was kind of weird. Like, there was never something that was $13.30 or $12.30. It's $12.29 even. Like, they went like that in depth. But like at the same time, people are struggling out here, okay? And like they
True.
just need to know off the bat how much they're spending when they walk out of the store.
And it's like, do I know how to calculate tax on things? I do.
Right. Yeah.
But
Come on, just
it'd
make
be
it, like-
easier if I didn't have to.
Right. Right. No, I believe in tax in price tags included.
Oh, like when we went to Pennsylvania that one time and like they didn't have sales tax. Is it Pennsylvania that doesn't have sales
Mhm.
tax? And like I remember being so flabbergasted that price is that price on the tag.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, this is so easy. Why can't everything be like this?
Yeah, literally. And I actually used to do it. I kind of stole this idea from the dispensary that my best friend works at, but the people that did their pricing did this, and I started doing it because I was in charge of the pricing at our store. So the way that everything was priced after tax, it was even. $20,
Love
$22,
that.
$25.
That way you
know
can
what
just
I'm
walk
saying?
in and then
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
bill, no
Mhm.
change.
Loved it. Made it so easy for everybody.
Yeah. I think
my
it's
God.
pronounced GIF and not GIF.
Isn't it? It's a GIF, yeah.
That's what I say, but then other people say GIF, and I'm like,
Jif
you're
is
wrong.
a peanut butter.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
what
me
I'm
think of
saying.
peanut butter. No, that's a J.
Right?
Jif,
It's a G.
GIF.
It's a GIF.
It's
GIF,
GIF.
not GIF.
Yeah.
And then people always are like, no, it's a GIF. I'm like, it's GIF, bro.
It's
They're like,
definitely
no, and then we
GIF.
spend like 5 minutes debating it.
Oh my god. No, it's definitely GIF. When you're inside, it's the floor. When you're outside, it's the ground.
Oh yeah,
You know when people like say, "Oh, I dropped something on the ground?"
yeah.
That's only if you're outside.
Interesting.
If you're inside,
something
you
on the
dropped it
floor?
on the floor.
You know, I never really paid attention to that.
Oh my god. It like I don't know why it irks me so bad when people say it.
You know, I'm
Right?
gonna start paying attention to that now.
I don't know why it irks me so bad when people do that. But I hear it a lot and I'm like, ugh. Same with like, oh, there's this thing I seen at the store.
Oh yeah,
No.
just improper grammar.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know why I care so much about what people say.
Pepsi over Coke.
Oh, yeah.
I've met a lot of people who are like very strongly against that. They're like Coke diehard fans.
True. I wavered a little bit because Car Guy works for Pepsi. I wavered for a hot second
Mm.
and I drank Coke for a while, but I'm just kidding.
But,
But
don't
I
your
do
family,
like-
doesn't your family like don't your parents just like Coke anyways?
Yeah.
So it's just easier.
Because I drink Diet Coke. Yeah. And like Coke, you know what? A good crispy Coke on some days, nothing better, but Pepsi tastes better to me.
Pepsi tastes better and it doesn't leave a weird aftertaste in my throat like Coke
True.
does.
Okay, true. What is even the difference, actually? Do
I don't
we know or no?
I don't know.
Cause I can
I'm
taste
sure there
I'm
is
one
a
of those people that
difference.
can taste the difference.
I can taste a difference.
You know?
I don't know what it is,
Right, right.
but there is a difference.
I always say Coke is crispier. I don't know if it's
Okay.
more carbonated or what, but like it's just more like
I don't know. I think the difference for me is in taste.
that too. I think Pepsi's sweeter, but I think Coke is definitely crispier. This is more of like a personal thing. I don't care if other people do it, obviously, but I no fruit in my ice cream. No fruit in my ice cream. I don't know why. To me, it's just two completely separate things. Like fruit is a snack, like a little healthy snack that like everything is kind of the same. Again, I don't know if it has to do with my food touching.
Maybe it does. Actually,
That's true. Now that
you
I'm
think-
thinking of
yeah.
it, but it's just they're too different in my head.
I love fruit in my ice cream, fruit in
Oh,
my froyo,
no.
fruit in my pastries, fruit in my desserts.
I see. I'll do a pastry sometimes. I'll do a fruit pastry,
Mhm.
but just ice cream. I don't know. They're too different. Like they're too different in my head to be able to combine like that. Especially like we go to this ice cream place where they like literally
They
knead
mix
the
it,
ice
yeah,
cream.
they
Yeah,
mix it
like
by
they
hand.
put your toppings in and they like knead it together, chop it together, and she gets like
It's strawberries.
fruit. Yeah,
In it.
and no, that's way too like together for me. I can't.
Interesting.
I can't.
I think it's so good.
I can't do it. Like I get like peanut butter cups and cookie dough, like very dessert things. But like the fruit, it's just like whoa.
It's just that the fruit adds a little bit of freshness. I like it.
Maybe that's what like it's too fresh. Like it's just like they're two very different things in my head, and I just combining them stresses me out. Frozen yogurt's a little bit better. At least I can eat it a little bit more separately. But
True.
ice cream, no.
On the topic
Absolutely not.
of desserts, I think cake is better than pie.
Again, two very different things. If I had to pick one,
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go with pie. I love
I respect that.
pie. And I love pie crust. I love pie. I could just sit there and eat a pie crust.
You know what? That's not exclusive to crumbles, though. I love a good apple crumble. I will choose an apple
I will-
crumble over anything.
I'll only eat your apple crumble. I don't actually really like apple crumble, but hers is really good.
Oh my gosh.
When that apple chunks are like too big, like I don't really like apple pie actually. But
I
like,
don't like apple pie. The slices are usually too long.
right? So like usually in her apple crumble, the ratio's good with like the filling and the crumble, and the filling is like thin enough that it's not like a huge chunk of apple in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I hate that.
Mhm.
I hate that.
Hear that, everybody?
Hers is really good. Okay, this is really bad. I don't remember if it was Mama or Papa.
Okay.
I'm assuming it was Papa because Mama didn't spend a lot of time in the downtown house.
I don't remember. That was too young.
But okay, true. But the thing, like, so I don't remember if it was like weekly, nightly, I don't even fucking know. But we would do like warmed up blueberry pie with vanilla ice cream. And it's so funny because I'd always say like I don't like pie except for blueberry pie, and it was literally just because of that.
Aww,
And then I
that's kinda
started
cute, though.
eating more pies. And I started liking more pies, but blueberry pie with vanilla ice cream will always make me feel warm and fuzzy. Always. Disney movies shouldn't have remakes.
I can respect that.
Okay.
Because
okay.
sometimes the remakes just aren't good. They don't hit the same.
Right. And it's like a classic. Like
Yeah.
just if it wasn't broken, leave it alone.
That's kind of true.
And I get they're trying to like keep the spirit alive and like reimagine it so it's new and the new kids have like something like Disney magic, but like make a new movie.
That's so true.
Do
You
you
can
know?
make a new movie.
You
It's
know?
okay to make new things.
Right.
You know what? Something that I've noticed, and my brother pointed this out to me, Kuya pointed it out, that most movies today are either superhero movies, remakes, or action movies.
That's
like, it's
true.
very rare for there to be, like, an original screenplay now. And it's
That's
not like they
true.
don't do well. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once was an original screenplay, and it did amazing.
Right.
Barbie, great.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to remake things.
Yeah.
You don't have to like book to movie adaptations. A lot of movies these days are like book to movie adaptations, which is not to say it's a bad thing.
No, I used to be
But-
like that. When I used to read a lot, it was the same thing with books and movies. Like people
Oh, yeah, I'm
shouldn't
like that too, yeah.
make books as movies or shows.
I would always get upset that like the movie's different from the book.
Yeah.
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 It's like it's okay to make movies not from like a source material. Like it's okay for the movie to be its own source material, you know?
Yeah. Like I've never seen an episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty because I can't have that ruin that book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of different. You know what? Something that helps me with that though, I'm like
Even the Vampire
I
Diaries.
have to view them as different things.
Yeah, even like Vampire Diaries. I read those books when I was younger and I never watched the show. Just because I was like, oh my god,
Really?
like what a.
I never read the Vampire Diaries, but I love the show.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen a lot of Disney remakes. Like I've seen Beauty and the Beast and.
I've seen Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, and
Okay,
Aladdin.
what was Cinderella? Because my mom was
Cinderella
talking
was pretty
about
good.
Cinderella too. Who's in it?
Lily James.
Oh yeah, okay, I never saw that.
That's
no,
pretty
I
good.
didn't see that.
I can respect when it's very okay. You know what remake was really really good? Like recently they came out, the Little Mermaid.
That's why I was thinking it was gonna be controversial.
The Little Mermaid was really good.
You know what? I do respect that one a little bit for being different because of the cultural diversity.
Yeah, I love
do
that.
respect that one. And like, yeah, people were saying like Tiana's a thing, like whatever. But like, I don't know. I don't know.
My thing about that is like if the race has nothing to do with the character, then by all means go ahead change the race. But if it's
Mhm.
like a cultural thing, like
Yeah.
Mulan or something, like you're not gonna like
Okay,
change
that's
the race
true.
of Mulan, you know.
That's true.
But if like the character, if it has nothing to do with the character or the storyline or like it's perfectly okay, and I don't know why people get so heated about it.
right. No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Very true. Was
'Cause
it similar?
Oh yeah,
Okay, see, that's
some
fine
scenes were
with
like
me.
by scene, like
Right.
frame by frame.
Right.
from
That's actually
the-
kind of what I liked about Beauty and the Beast too.
Yeah.
Although they altered the story a little bit, you like those are my favorite things to see that side by
Mhm.
side. Like love
The
that.
parallels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked out of that movie believing in love again, and I've said
Oh
it
my
before, and I'll
God.
say it again. I'm gonna watch it soon again because it's on Disney Plus now.
Maybe I'll watch it if it's on Disney Plus now.
Sharpay Evans from High School Musical was not the villain that everybody made her out to be.
Okay, I've heard that, but I've never thought about it. What do you think?
Okay, hear me out. This girl,
Okay.
thespian. To her roots, in her bones, in her heart of hearts, she's a thespian, okay? Literally since she was like a child. The spring musical, always, like, that's her thing, right? This new girl's gonna come in and mess up everything that she worked so hard for. Like, yeah, I get it because, like, I've been there. Was in high school glee club. I know what it's like to, like, be so used to you being the star and then having some person come in and being like, what is going on? But, like, and I get it. It's okay to give people their chance. But, like, this girl be working so hard. And then everybody villainized her for it. Like, in High School Musical 2, you know what she was doing for Troy? She got that man a job, was networking for him, like, all of this stuff. And then she got treated so badly in the end. But that's okay because she has Zeke.
True.
Is that his name?
True.
Yeah, Zeke.
You know what? That's actually true.
Like, she's just a weird little thespian who thinks she's more popular than she is. You know, like, cut her some slack, okay?
Yeah, no, that's I see that actually. Again,
I love
also
Gabriella, though. She was, like, my Asian Filipino representation growing up, even though they made her Hispanic in the movies.
true.
I knew the truth.
They, I also grew up like high school thespian, high school vocal student, and then so my vocal teacher actually also always had a controversial, always had favorites.
Oh, no, mine too. We literally had, like, all the soloists were the favorites. And then we
Yeah.
had, like, a different group. And then sometimes we do performances with just a soloist.
Yeah, and it would be like really bad where like there would be auditions and like the same person was picked every time. And I always said like, and there were some people that loved vocal and some people that hated vocal, and I always said, if you're a favorite, you love vocal. People that hate vocal are not favorites.
True.
And I know that sounds awful, but you play the game, right? That was the game that was presented to us. You play the game or don't play it, right? And I was unfortunately a favorite. But yeah, there was like a group of favorites through every single grade, and she would have this thing that like only seniors could have solos. So they would like sometimes if she had a favorite in grade 9 or 10, they'd be able to kind of squeeze in and get that solo. And the seniors every single time were pissed.
True.
They were like, I've waited for this. I've worked hard for 4 years for this.
Oh, I have a story
and you're
like this
gonna
too.
give it to a grade 9 or a grade 10. And you know what? It got really hard when I started to assist, because I remember I never really was in that situation where I was like replaced or had somebody like
Come
take my
in, yeah.
spot. Yeah, but I've seen it happen. Like I saw it happen when I was a student, and when I started to assist, it got really hard because a lot of the younger people coming in were amazing and blowing these seniors out of the water. So we would run auditions, which was the hardest part because it then becomes very, very clear who's better for the part.
Yeah.
So it helped to make that final decision, kind of to give it to somebody younger, but at the same time it was like a lot of the older ones, why would you even run auditions? You know that they're the favorite, blah 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 blah. And vocal students are so fucking, I would have students that I would have to go console after crying in a practice room.
If
Like
you
they're
have
so
ever
emotional.
If you've ever
Like,
watched Glee and you are
it's
familiar
real.
with, yeah, it is
It's
so real. If you're
real.
familiar with Rachel Berry,
I've never seen
Club
it
is
because
just-
it's too dramatic, but I don't know why I say that because I lived it.
Yeah.
It's real. It's so real. Like people would be
the
crushed.
stereotypes are kind of real.
Especially if like they were a senior, or especially if they've sung the solo before, or they'd be like, my solo's only a verse, theirs is a whole song.
Yeah.
How dare you? And they'd be crying. Like it would ruin friendships.
I have a story.
It would ruin friendships. Like
I have a story of me being a bad vocal student
what?
because I stole a solo.
Oh
from
yeah, I
somebody.
was the solo stealer. I was never ever like
But to be fair, I played the game by the rules.
right.
So what happened was every year there's like a closing assembly, there's a closing concert where we sing Don't Stop Believing. It is the Glee song, you know? And I was in Glee. I was in vocal ensemble. And usually the seniors sing that song. When I was in grade 11, one of my friends in the group, she got to sing a solo in the senior song. And then when we became seniors, she got the solo in the senior song again. So she sang it 2 years in a row, even though it was only supposed to be seniors. And it was me and her. There were two solos. She got the verse that I wanted, and I was like kind of bitter about it.
I'm dead.
By the end of the year, like my vocal teacher had this rule where it was like, if you don't show up to the practices, you're not keeping your solo.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah, right? It makes sense. You know, same thing with sports. You don't come to practice, you're getting benched. And she didn't come to the practice. She didn't
Right.
come to the practice. Nobody noticed until I noticed. Nobody noticed besides me until it was time to get up and sing. And I was like, nobody's here to sing her part. Like, can I sing it? Like, don't you have, like, I brought up the rule. I was like, I don't even remember, but I was like, is she not gonna, what if she doesn't show up? Like, nobody knows why she's not here. Like, me just kind of being like a little shit disturber. And he was like, okay, yeah, you can sing the entire song. So I got the entire song. And then when it was the assembly, she didn't come to the practice afterwards either. She didn't even show up to the music room the day of the assembly. But I saw her, she was in the stands, and she was kind of upset because she was like, oh, like our music teacher gave away my solo. And she didn't know it was me that I kind of like instigated. And then I remember I was singing the entire song. I look up at the crowd and she's literally crying.
I'm dead.
And she's crying. Our two friends are consoling her. I felt so bad about it, but
I'm
I was also
dead.
like, this is my Rachel Berry moment. Like, I'm
like,
so sorry.
And it's
But
hard.
it's
Like,
yeah.
that switch between the student and like the teacher role for me was very, very hard, because it's true. Like, there are rules, and there are like the audition process, I feel like, is a rule. And you know what? It's hard too, the difference between a student and a teacher, when you realize, when you're trying to teach these performances and put on these performances, that you have to put your best foot forward. So I was then put into a position that this grade 9 is better than this grade 12. What do I do here? Because I want to put my best foot forward, but this grade 12 has been waiting 4 fucking years to be able to sing that one verse. That one verse. So then, and for some reason, it was always Oceans, that religious song.
Yeah.
And it was the bridge. And
It's always the bridge, though. Everybody loves singing bridge.
And that is a beautiful song, and it is a beautiful bridge, and it is a hard bridge to sing. Let me tell Our Only Hope from A Walk to Remember, we sung that a lot at Mass too. Like, we got away with the more modern songs, so it was even more devastating when you didn't get your part. But like, the bridge of that song too, like, when you sing it not as well as the grade 9, it's hard, because we're singing for the school board. I'm trying to put on the best performance I can. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
hard.
it becomes so hard. So like,
it becomes an ethical issue. You're like, what do I do?
Yeah. So like, I get it, but I also love, like, I don't know. I don't think she was a villain, but I definitely don't think that Gabriella was a villain either.
Oh no, there was
You
no
know,
villain.
like,
they
I
were just
think-
girls.
Yeah,
They
that's
were just
true. They were
girls.
just high school girls.
Yeah.
That's true. But like, oh, that one's a tough one. That one is a tough one.
I feel for Sharpay. I also feel for
Right.
Gabriella,
That's what
because
I'm saying.
this girl had like someone she perceived to be the popular girl coming at her throat,
Right?
you know, and she's just wanting to sing with her little winter fling turned boyfriend.
I'm dead. No, it's true. It's true. And you know what? Would Sharpay have not been as nervous at that song, The Breaking Free, as Gabriella was? Maybe not. But still.
So yeah.
So that's all that we have for today. Thank you for watching and or listening. Make sure you're at least doing one or the other. Like, comment, subscribe.
Follow us on all of our socials at HarshWordedPod.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.